How many positions do you think you can defend in the NBA?
The NBA, 5, 4, 3, 1 and 2. Honestly, I have the confidence. I believe I can guard those two.
Mike Schmitz of ESPN. We're here at USC in the Trojans film room with USC big man Onyeka Okongwu. Onyeka, you've had close to half the season almost so far this year, just kind of entering conference play. How has everything gone for you so far?
Everything's been going really good for me. It's really fun. Playing college basketball is different than high school, so I'm just having fun out here playing college ball.
Yeah, so we're going to dive into some of your film this season where you've been really good, maybe some areas you're still improving. But before that, I want to show you this clip and talk me through what you remember about this, because this is against who?
Zion.
Okay. And do you remember your stat line that game? I know you do.
I don't.
35 and 14. Okay. Talk me through this move. Little up and under?
Yeah, I just knew my team needed me to score that game, and I knew it was a big game against Zion. A lot of eyes watching, so my objective was just to go at him and try and do what it took to help my team win.
So what type of player were you then?
I was like an offensive threat that year.
Mm-hmm.
My teammates and team needed a lot out of me that year, so I just was really trying to score a lot.
So you had, that game, obviously. I remember watching you as a freshman. I think was that Lonzo's senior year?
Yeah.
And you guys, were you undefeated or no?
Yeah,
undefeated.
Yeah.
So I think I'm watching the state championship game, and they had all the hype and the outlet passes and the wild style. And I remember seeing this freshman like blocking shots, crashing the offensive glass, dunking, and then you've kind of evolved into the player you are now. Why is it that you weren't maybe – I know you're a top 20 guy, but you weren't a McDonald's All-American or you never played USA basketball. Why do you think that is?
I'm kind of under the radar. I never really went to a lot of camps. I didn't really believe in that. I just wanted to play high school ball, play AAU ball without going to the hype camps and all that. I just like playing good basketball. Yeah,
because, watching you back then in those Chino Hills days, like I said, you were a shot blocker, rim runner, kind of doing all the little things, and that's almost the type of player you are now. Is that where your shot blocking instincts, your rebounding instincts, your motor comes from?
Yeah, my freshman and sophomore year, you helped me a lot because, that's what I would do a lot, rim run, try and dunk everything, block shots, and throughout the journey, I obtained offensive skills too. I always kept the natural defensive instincts alongside, so I just carried on to college basketball where I can do both.
Yeah, and you've had a great season so far, obviously averaging, I think, almost 18 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks. You guys have had some team success as well. You're one of the most efficient players in the country. I think you rank in the top 10 in player efficiency rating. And, so I've kind of really burst onto the radar, this season for people who maybe weren't familiar with you. And so I kind of want to dive into, your film this year so far and look at, some areas you really excelled and some areas maybe you're still improving. So if you want to take a look with me here, one of the first things I think teams like about you is that you can space the floor vertically as a lob catcher. Okay, so much we talk about guys who can space the floor as a shooter, right? And I think eventually you'll be able to do that also. But there's also a factor of spacing the floor vertically because those weak side wings, they have to help on you because you're a lob threat, right? Have you always been such an explosive athlete?
Yeah, throughout high school, I had a lot of athleticism on me, but then I got hurt, so I lost a lot of it. But when I got healthy and lost all my weight, I was able to obtain my explosion, my bounce, and all that. Yeah,
and you can see it here. Here's one of my favorite clips of the year. So I think you're shooting 68% at the rim in the half court this season, which is one of the best marks in the country, and you've been really dynamic in pick and roll. I love how quickly you get out of your screens. Like, you do a great job of setting, whipping that inside foot, and then turning your head and being ready. And then you can see here, like, just head at the rim athleticism. So you had the Achilles, and then you said you put on a little bit of weight. Like, what was the highest you ever got to? Do you remember?
Probably like 275.
Really?
Yeah.
And what are you now?
240.
Okay. And so but you're feeling as bouncy as you've been.
Yeah.
And have you grown also? Because watching those clips against Zion, it seems like you were maybe an inch or two shorter than.
Yeah, I think I'm like legit like 6'10" right now. Back then I was probably like 6'8" and a half, 6'8".
Okay. Yeah, so with your ability to finish above the rim like that puts pressure on, the weak side defense, and I think point guards at the next level are going to love playing with you. Again, a little thing, but I love how quickly you get into your offense here, like quick swing. You're not a guy who holds the ball often. You know who you are, and then you do a great job of diving quickly to the rim. You just keep it moving, and that's been really impressive to see. So here's a clip that's not a lob catch. It's not a pick-and-roll situation, but I just want you to see, like, your ability to catch the ball in traffic and rise up without really needing much room to run and gain momentum has been really impressive. Did you play any other sports growing up?
I only played tennis when I was a little kid.
Tennis?
Yeah.
How'd you get into that?
My mom and dad always watched it while I was young, and I kind of had like fun watching it too, so I decided to play it when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old.
Okay, but never football?
Nah.
It's because this is like red zone target, back shoulder fade. No, never.
Never, nah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, why do you think – do you feel that? Like, because you can see it on the offensive glass, defensive glass. Like, when you're in a crowd, you just go get it. Has that always been a big part of your game?
Honestly, my freshman year, I was playing with Lonzo, so
yeah.
I would always miss his passes, and over the course of that freshman year, I would learn how to catch his passes, and since then, I've always been able to have good hands and catch everything. I
want to ask you about him and LaMelo a little bit. Lonzo is kind of turning the corner now as an NBA player, having a lot of success with the Pelicans. And then LaMelo, I spent some time down in Australia watching him and seeing his growth. I guess what was so unique about that situation, and what do you remember about just the style that those guys play?
It's unique. They all can score out well, all three Ball brothers, and they're just good players. They're fun to play with. LaMelo, that's my best friend. So it's good to see him grow up and become a great basketball player he is now. So how you've been talking to him throughout this whole process and everything, kind of how both of you have really improved your stock this season. Yeah, me and him talk daily. He's doing good out there in Australia. And, it's just good to watch him progress from being a 5'10" little freshman to a 6'7" top 5 pick. Yeah, it's been impressive seeing kind of both you guys grow. And, like I said, I think whether it's LaMelo or other point guards, guys are going to love playing with you because of, your ability to play above the rim. And then also your ability to use either hand has been really impressive. Again, this isn't a lob situation, but I like how quickly you're able to go from the right to the left, finish over length. You go to your left hand a lot in the post also. You're a natural righty, though? Yeah. So when did you start adding that aspect to your game? Because it seems like it's almost 50-50 split of how often you're going to each hand. Back in high school, I didn't really I wasn't good on my left hand, so I took a whole summer just working on my left the entire year. And since then, I've been able to use either hand in the post comfortable, and I've just been able to excel at my left hand more than my right at times. Yeah, and then really where you've been most effective this season in a lot of your career is with your back to the basket, right? And I remember when you came in, people was, he's kind of an old school type of big in some ways because of your ability to play out of the post. And some coaches will say, oh, the post is dead or this and that. But when you score as effectively as you do, it's hard to argue against that as a bad possession, right? Where do you think your game fits kind of in the league today, and what do you make of all this, like, oh, the traditional big or the post is dead type of talk? In the league, I can honestly fit as a rim runner, person that can get you an easy basket down the middle of the lane, and just on the defensive end, honestly. And so one area I think you've been impressive is getting to your right hand jump hook, getting to your left shoulder, and getting to your right shoulder, honestly. And I think an area where you can have even more success is these early bust outs and getting early position, right? So watch this clip here. What do you see? So you're running the floor hard, and then boom. Like, I love that. Early seal, both feet in the paint, like easy touch, and then automatic over your left shoulder. You guys haven't played with a ton of pace this season. I think you rank maybe like 55th in the country in pace. But, with your size, your athleticism, and your touch around the rim, I think that's an area where you can, get 2, 4, 6 easy points a game. And then take me through this play here. What do you remember here? I remember that we were losing by a lot. Yeah. And I just tried to get easy baskets for our team. And Isaiah Stewart guarding you, 2-pound dribbles, get to that hop. Really nice touch. Your jump hook, like I said, has been a huge part of your game this season. And then going to your right shoulder as well. I like how much ground you cover with that kind of hop, step, dribble. And then this is a tough shot. I mean, not a lot of bigs in the NBA are making that type of shot, fading away over your opposite shoulder. So impressive stuff. What do you remember here, and what could you have maybe done differently? I remember this play. I remember I had Isaiah on my back, and I went back to my right hand, but I should have just used my left hand for this one.
And then their length, yeah, exactly, yep. And their length was a little bothersome for you. I think you finished 4 of 13 in that game. What do you remember about just in-game thinking, like, how do I adjust to guys with this much length and athleticism?
That game I wasn't used to that type of zone, so I was rushing a lot of my shots because I didn't know where they were coming from because they were long and athletic.
Yep.
So that game I should have been more patient and try to finish more around the basket.
Yeah, and then here, moving forward, this is against Nevada, and just kind of looking at, maybe slowing down a little bit in the post, right? Like, you get a good touch. Do you remember this play?
Yeah, I lost the ball, and I tried to go between 2 defenders right here.
Yep, so whether maybe it's spinning back toward the baseline, maybe it's just kind of gathering and hitting Nick on a cut. But, I think overall this season you've been really patient in the post. Here's another example of that, right? So Nick's going to kind of cut through here and then almost just like wait one or two more seconds, and then he's going to clear, and then he's going to clear also, right? But because you go right away, there's the help.
Yeah.
Just makes it a tougher shot. But again, I think on the season, like, you've been really patient, and here's a good example of that, right? So you got your man here who's cutting through. You're patient. You wait, and then if you would have gone like a split second earlier, this guy's going to make it an even tougher shot, right?
Yeah.
So just waiting that extra second is going to buy you more time in the post. And so now kind of going into your turn and face game, your face-up game, where do you think you are right now in your development facing the basket as opposed to with your back to it?
Facing up, I'm really strong going to my right.
Yeah.
And I'm right now I can work on going to my left, going baseline more.
Yeah.
Just overall, I think I'm good at it, but I can definitely work on it.
I think the first step to becoming like a lethal 15, 17-foot guy who can not only score with his back to the basket but face up as well is being respectable as a shooter, right?
Yeah.
And you've shown progress there for sure. Even in high school, like, you would shoot an occasional three, right?
Yeah.
Did you shoot a fair amount of threes at the high school level?
Probably shot about 15, 20 my senior year.
Yeah, and you can tell you have nice touch, nice rotation. But, like, I think knocking down this type of shot with the inside pivot and just showing that, like, they need to press up on you is going to be a key for you, right? Like, do you remember this play? It's against their zone.
I had a silly turnover right here. I could have just easily shot over in the middle of the key.
Yeah, feeling more comfortable in those type of situations. I mean, I know they're kind of crowding you, and the zone is different. But I just want you to see here in this play in particular, right? Like, okay, so inside pivot, face, like, he's giving you space,
Yeah.
And because he's giving you space, that makes you so much more predictable. So that allows him to kind of read and react on your move, right? Like, if he's pressing up on you, then you can rip, spin, do all of that, and use your athleticism, use your touch. But because he knows what you're going to do, he's there to take it in the chest, and then he's able to be in position to react and contest. Now, you almost make this because that's how good your touch is around the rim. But I think just, continuing to expand your range is going to make you more dynamic. And what do you remember about this?
I think I fouled on this play.
Yep. So this is a situation where he's kind of pressing up on you a little bit more, right? And then you hit him with this aggressive sweep through, great footwork on the spin, get fouled. So I think you're going to see a lot more of that. And then this here, once you become a consistent threat, facing up, making 15, 17 footers.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see here?
I think I used my left and got fouled.
Yep. Use your left. Maybe you could have hit. Who is that in the corner? Daniel?
Yes, Daniel. Yeah.
Maybe could have hit him. Like, this is a tough shot, but I mean, you've proven that you can score over either shoulder in the post, and that's impressive stuff. So then, all right, now we'll move into kind of your playmaking, okay? How would you rate yourself as a passer right now?
Passer? I'm an overall pretty good passer.
Yeah, I would say the same. And I was surprised to see that you have double the turnovers as assists this season, but I'm not sure that's completely a product of your IQ or your ability to read the floor. And what's impressed me is kind of how quickly you've been able to make some of these decisions, just like this quick outlet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You corral the rebound, hit ahead, playing fast, playing decisive. You have another one here. What do you remember about this?
Oh, I just saw Daniel running, and I know he can catch my passes. He always does, so I just threw it up ahead.
You can see you guys have pretty good chemistry. That was at TCU. You had a huge game, I think 7 blocks in that one. And then what do you see here? Like, they've been throwing some doubles at you in the post.
Yeah. This play, I threw it to Ethan in the corner, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I saw 2-3 people coming my way.
Yeah, and you can see where the help is coming from, right? Your head's snapped, turned around, weak side pass, he's got all day to shoot it, and that's easy 3 there. And then again here, what do you see?
I see
They're crowding you.
Yeah.
So I love how right on the catch, right? Like you can feel the pressure. You look to that weak side corner. Like that's an automatic read. And then you hit I think Weaver in the corner. One more pass to Jonah, who steps into a 3. So those quick decisions, I think teams are going to be really intrigued by you because of that. Because you're not one of these guys who holds the ball and just sucks the life out of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think playing with other really good players is a reason why you played that style most of your life. So we'll go into your high-low passing also. Here's hitting Nick. What's your chemistry been like with these bigs? Obviously, you've played with Isaiah, now playing with Nick. I know you guys played, all 3 of you, a little bit together.
Yeah, me and Nick get along really good. I know where he likes the ball. I know all the spots, so it's easy to pass him the ball.
Yeah, and it's been cool to see, your guys' chemistry just kind of coming together as a trio. A couple of the areas I would say is just feeling more comfortable playing on the perimeter as a facilitator. Do you remember this play? It's kind of a broken play.
I got a charge.
Yeah, exactly. And what's maybe your read here?
Elijah Weaver in the corner.
Yeah, you can see his reaction. He's not happy. But again, kind of a scramble play, tough situation. But the situations you're really going to be in more than anything are like these short roll type of situations, right? Where they're putting 2 on the ball, and then because in these spots, you almost become like the second point guard. Because, you've seen Draymond, right?
Yeah.
Like so often, against the Warriors, they'd put 2 on the ball, 2 on Steph, and then it's like a little pocket pass to Draymond, 4 on 3, and then he's just picking people apart. And I think you could be like that as well. Here you got a little tied up. What do you remember about this play?
This play, I remember I got the ball, and I wanted to go to my right, but I had a left-hand dribble or a pass to Jonah sooner, but I went right, lost the ball, had a turnover.
Yeah, it's a tough spot, too. There's not a lot of room to operate there. I think this next play is actually even a little bit more indicative of like what you're going to see in the NBA. So not so much a short roll, but, okay, 2 on the ball. They have 2 on the ball, and that weak side wing is helping off. In the NBA, that's probably going to be a shooter, right? A wing shooter. Here it's Isaiah, who can definitely space the floor. And what's the read there?
Isaiah in the corner.
Yeah, just quick read, like right away. That's almost an automatic read that I think you'll be able to see in the NBA. And again, you get a decent shot. You're effective around the rim. But I think making those type of next level reads is probably the next step in your development. So offensively, how would you kind of overall, right now before we move into your defense, how would you grade how you've been so far this year?
Offensively, I'm like a B, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not a perfect offensive player, but I'm pretty effective and I produce on offensive end.
And like I said, I think the fact that you're not a guy who needs 20 dribbles in the post to go get a bucket. You can do it on the offensive glass, which is an area we didn't hit on. You've been really good as an offensive rebounder, rim runs, lob catches, and there's a lot of switching in the NBA. So you're going to be able to punish switches, smaller guards in the post. I think that's going to be a big part of your game also. So now going into defense, before we get into it, how do you think that you've been on this end?
Honestly, I'm used to defense. I don't think much of it. That's what I do. I'm a defender first before I play on offense.
And you've been one of the best shot blockers in the country. You've been stepping out on the perimeter, guarding, switching, doing a little bit of everything. So first we'll get into your shot blocking. Now, before we show all your highlights and tell you how awesome you are, some areas I think that you can improve is, one area in particular is in transition, like sprinting back to the rim and being vocal. What do you remember about this? I know it's late in the game. It's kind of a blowout. But I would say just like getting back and communicating right now. So you're almost like, I know you're not the most vocal guy. How would you describe your personality on the court? You're not the most vocal guy.
No, I'm not really vocal at all like that, but I could definitely work on it on the court. I'm just a cool guy. I can learn on speaking up more, being more loud and vocal. Especially
as playing the 5, being a guy who's calling pick and roll coverages, who gets back here and I think a lot of it is your responsibility to say, hey, Nick, I'm here, you're here. Don't allow these guys to get behind you because he sneaks right here and gets an and one. And then there's another example that's similar here. Again, this isn't completely on you. You're matched up with your man, but because that's your position, right? Like you're the defensive anchor. Now it's your duty to say, hey, Nick, I have Isaiah, I have Sam Timmons. You have him. Like, let's sort this out. but instead they get the ball moving, uncontested dunk.
Yeah.
So I think becoming more vocal is certainly an area, but you can see it here. Just sprinting back and showing the effort, verticality at the rim, bothering shots, just little things like that in transition. Do you remember this play? You get back, do a great job of kind of covering that low hole, and then you're vertical, and then you kind of widen out and get the steal. So, you've proven that you can be really good in these kind of semi-transition early offense situations. Even there, you crash the offensive glass. You're still able to get back and bother this shot at the rim. So, I mean, your instincts, like, where do those come from?
Honestly, those are just natural. They didn't really come from anywhere. I just have great timing on my blocks and just being a defensive player. That's just natural to me.
So is that what you always were, like when you were even a little kid?
Little kid, yeah. I've always been just a defender, honestly. Just being able to guard all positions, really.
Who do you think is the best? Like, who do you watch in the NBA and you're like, this is the guy I want to be defensively?
I don't really, tell myself I want to be like this person, but I want to have a mindset like Patrick Beverly. Honestly, just straight dull. No one's scoring on me. I want to have that type of mindset.
How many positions do you think you can defend in the NBA?
In the NBA, 5, 4, 3, 1 and 2. Honestly, I have the confidence. I believe I can guard those two.
And who do you think is the best shot blocker in the NBA?
Definitely Hassan Whiteside.
Okay, Hassan Whiteside. We won't tell Rudy Gobert. What do you remember about this? Kind of a scramble play.
Oh, down the middle dunk.
Yeah.
I didn't want no business with that one, honestly.
It's a business decision, would you say? So if you're in the NBA and this is Donovan Mitchell, are you business decision again?
If I was in the middle of the key before he took off, I would have jumped, but it was just too late right here. I was like, he can have this one.
I think you made the right call. I'm going to be honest, But we have seen guys like Jared Allen, right?
Yeah.
Like he got Giannis last year. He got LeBron. Some guys, just by being not afraid to get dunked on, that helps you become an elite rim protector. You know what I mean? So, smart move for the brand. I get it. But, every once in a while, go challenge some of these guys.
Yeah.
And then here's one other situation where I thought maybe you could have went and got it. Tell me what you see here. It's almost like you're worried about.
Yeah, I could have easily blocked this one, but I was worried about the drop down pass, so I just thought Isaiah was gonna get in front of him. But it's on me. Honestly, I could have helped more.
And I think just trusting, okay, Ethan's gonna sink inside that big, and go get it. Because in this game you had 7 blocks, and this is one of the most impressive ones. Was this a goaltend or no?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So all right. I mean, that's big time stuff, and you can see how high you are off the ground. And you're not. What's your wingspan?
I'm not sure, honestly. I think it's 7'3", 7'2".
Okay, yeah, and a lot of the best shot blockers in the NBA, it's 7'5", 7'6", and you're still able to be this effective, not being a 7-footer, not being a guy with a 7'10" wingspan like Hassan Whiteside. And there you can just see your leaping ability, your timing. You remember this? Late game?
I think it was a switch.
That's coming later. That's coming later.
Oh, another block.
Another block. Just good timing, your ability to go get it. Guys are going to love playing with you and your style on the defensive end also, just because of your rim protection. And then now you're people are scared, right? Like they're shot faking. You do a great job with the swim move to be a presence, and then give me that. And that's why you're averaging 4 blocks per 40 minutes. And this is one of my favorite rim protection plays from you of the season so far. Give up a middle drive. Maybe you don't want to help completely up the lane here, maybe more in a bluff and recover type of situation, but you do, and then you recover. And then this shouldn't have been a foul. Multiple efforts, high energy, showing some emotion on the court, which we don't always see from you. All those things are a huge reason why, you're one of the better rim protectors. So now we covered that. So to be a center, do you consider yourself a center? Are you
center?
A 4 or 5?
In between, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you think you can play both, you think?
Yeah.
And what allows you to be able to play both?
Because I believe you are what you can guard. I can guard the 4.
Perfect.
And if I work on my shot and a little bit, I can easily play the 4 position.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And so to be a modern big, I'll say, okay, who's spending some time at the 5, I think it's important to protect the rim and guard the perimeter.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yes.
And those are two of the things that you do best. So let's look at some of your pick and roll defense. How do you think you've been guarding pick and roll so far this year?
I think fairly I've done a good job. I'm still getting used to all the coverages. I feel like when I get tired, though, I kind of let some slippage in the pick and rolls, and I can definitely work on that.
Well, we're going to look at a few different coverages here. This is kind of a more traditional, drop situation, right? What do you see about what could you be doing differently here, maybe?
I could have definitely either caught a switch or a hedge.
And I would just say, just square up the ball. You know what I mean? Like, you see your feet. Like, I would just square up the ball, have your head in line with the ball handler, and then that's going to allow you to keep it contained more. But there, because of your stance, you're kind of behind. And then, they get the goaltend at the rim. Here, I think you do a great job. Okay, you're up, you're active. Like, you see you have the ball squared up, so he can't just beat you off the dribble. And then that allows Ethan time to get back to contest, and that's a really tough contested pull-up. Great defensive possession. And then, here he rejects, uses the ball screen. What do you see here?
I tried to stay back because, he could have easily thrown the ball over to their big man.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go too far back. Like, it could have been a floater, so I tried to play in between.
Try to play in between, and the only thing I would say here is, like, when you're in these kind of, like, playing cat and mouse is almost what you call it, right? Because you're almost playing two as your guard recovers, and then if you're going to stay with him, I would just say active hands. Like, don't let him make that play over you. But again, I think you've been really good in pick and roll this season, and this is kind of what teams are going to want to force at the NBA level out of pick and roll. Okay, you're ready, you're back, you're sitting down. They want to force these contested floaters, contested mid-range jumpers. Again, you give up the offensive rebound, but those are the type of shots that NBA teams want to force in these drop situations. This is one of my favorite plays from you of the year. You remember this?
I think he tried to throw the ball to the big man, and I stole it.
Yep, exactly. So you're in perfect position. You're sitting down. You're taking away the pocket pass, and you're also in good enough position to be able to get back to the roller, do a great job tipping it away. We cut it off here, but there's that hit ahead we saw earlier to Daniel. Impressive stuff. And then, again, do you remember this? You get a block here.
Yeah, I blocked it on my right hand.
Great verticality, and, in those drop situations, NBA point guards are going to try to get downhill and try to get into your body. You do a great job of protecting the rim there and not fouling. Now, how often are you guys hedging? How often are you guys – depends on personnel.
Yeah, it depends on personnel. It depends where they are and on their side of the court.
So this looks like it looks like you're trying to hedge here. And the one thing I would say is, like, I would have your butt to the sideline, right? And, like, you really want to drive him up toward half court to make it a tough pass, right? But he's able to turn the corner. Then Naz Carter gets an open look. They get an offensive rebound, okay? Like, little things like that. Here's another situation. At Staples Center, because you don't force him uphill, like, he's able to snap his head around right away. Whereas, like, if you drive him all the way back here and you're recovering with high hands, it's a tougher pass. Now, you need help at the rim here, but still, being a little bit more active there, I think, makes it tougher on the point guard. And this is, like, picture perfect right here. You remember this?
Yeah, I remember we raided him, so I just when I came off the pick, I just tried to pressure the guard with Ethan.
Yep, and you do a great job. You get two big slides, and now look at where he has to play from, Now he's almost at half court. Your help defense, I think there's a miscommunication here, and they get an open look. But even so, like, that's perfect. Do you guys ice or down in the sideline at all?
Yeah, I remember this play. I think I tried to down it, but he split the pick. That's on me.
And this is what you're going to see a lot in the NBA. Like, when it's in that sideline alley, you're going to see a lot of teams trying to ice and keep the ball, pinned to the sideline. So you're going to have the Chris Paul types are going to try to snake it and get back to the middle of the floor. So it's your duty to kind of just keep them in front. And Skylar Mays does a good job of just splitting, getting to the front of the rim for an and one. But still, I mean, you've shown your value in all those coverages so far this season. Now, switching, how do you think you've been in these situations?
Honestly, I think I've been doing a good job, switch on to the guards, make sure they don't score on me.
Yeah, completely agree. And I think that's one of the things that's most intriguing about you. Like you said, is you can guard on the perimeter against a 4, you can switch onto a 1, you can protect the rim as a 5. Here you do a great job keeping it in front. Another block, one of your 7 on that night. And then again here, like, you do a great job of playing the angle, makes him kill his dribble, takes him out of the flow offensively. Just really valuable to have bigs that can do that in today's game. This is the play you were talking about earlier. with the switch, what do you remember from this? Late game, they're down 2.
I think I get beat.
What? Anything in particular?
Or
he just shook you?
I think he just shook me, honestly. I was just...
and then the drop-off for the finish. And it was an and one, right?
Yeah, the and one.
Yeah, I mean, tough at the end of a game, but, you're going to be facing quickness, athleticism from NBA guards, so just being cognizant to make sure that your technique is on point. But like I said, I think you've been really good switching ball screens this season. You do a great job, again, here, sitting down, defending, and they try to kind of bump you off here. You recover, block at the rim. And then you even were stepping out and guarding Trendon Watford a little bit.
Yeah.
So you feel comfortable guarding those type of stretch 4 types?
Oh, yeah, I have no worries guarding them. I'm quick on my feet. I can react fast. I believe that if I can get down and really play D, I don't think anyone is going to be easy.
Yeah, and you did a great job there of cutting off penetration. And is there anyone in this draft that you've played against most that you, aside from, obviously Melo in practice and stuff like that, but where you've had some really good battles with?
In this draft.
Isaiah Stewart or no? Or was
no,
that the first?
This is my first time really playing against him.
Okay.
In this draft, probably Zeke.
Okay. Yeah.
Zeke.
Yeah. He's having a good season.
And that's about it, to be honest. Matthew Hurt.
Okay.
Him too.
Yeah, well, we saw it against Washington, and, Isaiah had a big game. What was your reaction to that, and why do you think that was, I guess?
That game, our game plan was to double team him. So, I'm not really used to double teaming anyone, period.
Yeah.
So I would let him catch the ball so I can let the double team come. But kind of backfired because me and my teammates, we forgot to double team him. So he would just have me sealed, and I can't really do nothing about it because it's a big dude.
Yeah, he's strong, he's physical, and I think hitting him early, meeting him early is probably the key. And you're in a tough spot here, right, because you're sprinting back, and he's already, got a step on you, and then he plants it in the paint and just barrels right into you. You remember this?
Yeah, I remember he shot it behind his head.
And then he even did the little celebration there. He's a big dude, and you're going to be facing big dudes in the NBA, Embiid, Jokic, these type of guys. Low man wins, right? And so I think that's a key for you is just not being upright and hitting him early. Here you do a better job of meeting him early, pushing him off his spot. You're fronting a little bit here eventually, and then that's a tough pass for them to make, and then you get the help from Isaiah Mobley, and then that's a turnover. Here after this turnover, you do a great job of sprinting back in transition. Again, you meet him early. You do a nice job of fighting. And, this is what NBA scouts love to see, You get the deflection, you're diving into the first row, your energy, your motor. I think that's what teams really like about you. But he was still able to have some success, kind of getting to his spots. You remember this play?
Yeah, I remember he got the ball. I let him catch the ball for the double team, and it didn't come. I was already on his back, so, he had an easy right-hand jump hook down the middle.
Yeah, and just, too easy. But, again, your scheme, how you guys were playing him, that's certainly a reason for that. And then this, I think, one of the first early on possessions of the game, just kind of big boyed you, Anything you would have done differently? I was looking at this trying to figure that out.
Honestly, I just trust my instincts, just try and play how I play at times and just play it straight up, wall up, make sure it doesn't get through me. I was just there waiting for the double team to come.
Yeah.
Came.
And he did a great job. So how do you guys guard these cross screens?
If it's big to big, we switch, but it was a guard, so I didn't even see the screen coming, so I reacted late, and he was already down there position, easy to score. And
he had some moments against you guys also just because of his size, and so I think being prepared for those type of jumbo centers in the NBA, whether you're playing 4 or playing 5, and then having a low center of gravity also, you know what I mean? This guy shouldn't be able to do that to you.
Yeah.
You're too good of a defender for that to happen. So I think pick and roll, you've been really good. Protecting the rim, you've been really, really good. And then maybe guarding the post is still an area for improvement against those type of big physical dudes.
Yeah.
And then the last piece is the defensive rebounding side of it, which I think has also been some great moments and some still areas for improvement. This is early on in the game. So you were trying to kind of three-quarter deny him there, I think.
Yeah.
And then he gets inside position, gets the offensive rebound. Yeah, then the foul.
Yeah.
He's a load. He's a load. And then again here, I would say just find him earlier, drive him back,
Yeah.
Use your strength, use your lower body strength. You have strong legs, and I think you can move guys around a little bit. But here, I think you do a much better job finding a body early. Kevin Samuel, this is perfect. You hit him, you move him back, and then you go get it. Yeah. Like when you're killing on the glass, that's what it looks like. How do you think your rebounding translates to the NBA level?
I think it will translate really good because I'm an athlete. I'm athletic, so I can be able to jump up and get the rebounds. And once I put on some more strength and muscle, I'll be able to push big dudes out and use my lessons to get the rebounds.
And, yeah, we saw it there. And then one last play. The last play of the edit, again, similar situation, just finding a body, going up and getting it. So, you've had a fantastic season so far across the board, offense, defense. What are your kind of goals, for this as we're moving into conference play? What are you hoping to accomplish?
Just to get better, honestly. Get better on the defensive end, offensive end, and play with more confidence. If I do that, everything else will pick up. Anything
you want people to know about you that – off the court, or any misconceptions about you?
Nah, man, just a humble dude, quiet dude. I don't really care about the attention like that. Just love playing basketball.
And where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Hopefully playing basketball somewhere.
Great. Well, Onyeka, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you for everything, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you for coming, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports analysis and highlights, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.